I keep trying to tell people that Ocala is God's country, man. We don't get any of that nonsense. It always goes around. I say that, then the next one will knock us over, right? But, so I want to welcome you to this focus group, and the purpose of our time together. Can you guys hear me? Okay. So I am the chairman of the Greater Ocala Community Development Corporation, right? We're a nonprofit organization focused on bringing economic growth and prosperity to West Ocala, but Ocala in general. And through that role, I always attend many types of events, whether it's speaking at IAGC or going down to, as a CDC, right, a Community Development Corporation. There's actually a Florida CDC. And so we used to go down to Tampa once a year, and there's hundreds of cities where there's corporations just like ours that represent small communities. And at one of the lectures that I attended, I had the opportunity to hear Dr. Jennifer Gresham speak, who is top left there, and was very, very impressed about what she talked about in terms of small businesses being agile, being able to pivot, although like business kind of that word at 2020, but being agile enough to move when it's time to move, to make the hard decisions, to ask the right questions. And so over the last year or so, Dr. Gresham and Pam, who's bottom left, and Matt, who's bottom right, who are both experts, Pam in leadership development and Matt in workforce development. And so we came to ask the question, when it comes to micro businesses, the country really doesn't pay much attention to businesses that are 5 employees or less. When the PPE first started and the BBB, it was all geared toward 20 or more employees. But we know that 83% of the small businesses out there have fewer than 20 employees, right? And that's micro anyway. By government definition, if you have less than 500, you're a small business. But what we noticed is that there wasn't a lot of attention being paid to the people who are really boots on the ground. When you have 5 to 10 or 3 to 10 employees, you're the one that helps the economy move, simply because it's easier for you to make the changes that are necessary to help move an economy along. When you have somebody like the company where my wife works, they have like 35,000 employees. So imagine trying to institute anything takes a long time because it has to go through lengthy processes. And so we decided to start working toward a passion of Dr. Gresham's, which is better paying jobs, right? And so better paying jobs always begin with the employer. Now, traditionally, a small business doesn't think that way, right? Because we have to kill what we eat every day. So we're looking at the most efficient way to do that, and employees typically represent a line item expense. But what we believe is that an employer, given the right tools, can use their employees as a growth agent, more so than just a line expense. And with that, teach them how to help you grow. All right? And the caveat being, once you grow, you cut them in. And so we see that working at companies like Avis and UPS, and here locally, Cardinal LG does a very good job in their existence of, I think they've been around more than 30 years. They've shared almost $1 billion with their employees. And so what we want to know is that if there was a system or a program where you would be able to access mentors and coaches from Fortune 1000 companies and other successful mentors to answer questions for you as a micro business owner, which would that have value? And how do you see that helping you in terms of growing your company to the point where you can create jobs that pay well enough for an employee to have an economic life, right? I mean, we hear $15 an hour thrown around a lot, but if you think about it in this market, $15 an hour works if you're married, right? By yourself, that's still not quite enough. But to a small business owner, we have to look at it in terms of, well, if I did pay that, what would I get for it? And so our thought is, we would then give you the tools, coach you, to help you become a better coach of your people. And that really is the essence of what the program is, and I'm sure you would go into much more detail than I would, but the general thought today, at least in my input, we have about 15 questions, so it's not very long. But I would like it to be interactive. I would like to hear your thoughts, because one of my concerns is that as a micro business owner, we're the ones who are out pedaling the bike, right? We're still pedaling the bike. We haven't got to the point where we have someone pedaling for us and we're just pointing. And so I don't want us to have a tool that doesn't need use because you're so busy working. And so part of the questions that I'll ask in addition to those is what makes it function? What makes it that after a 16-hour day, you still want to do it? Or is it something that, does it need to be online where you can do it in the mornings? I mean, what kind of exceptions needs to be made so that it becomes a tool that you will use every day, simply because you're going to have access. And so if I could draw a sports analogy, just imagine that all of us are aspiring basketball players. And we're going to create a network where Michael Jordan, Isaiah Thomas, Charles Barkley are all available for you to call and ask questions at any time. So it will allow you to have a much higher perspective at a point where you didn't have to go all the way to the pros to get it. Okay? And so with that, I'll ask the guys if there's any other preface statements. I'm sure you can hear me if I turn them up. Would you like to add anything or introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming out tonight. I am so sad I'm not there. I was supposed to be there, and we were talking this morning, and I thought, it was a little dicey, and now I see the sunlight pouring into the windows, so obviously, the next time I just need to get on the plane and come. But anyway, thank you for being here. As Elton said, we're just really interested in your perspective and how we can be helpful. Really helping small businesses and workers and communities all around the world. Our belief system is that what helps a small business helps the workers, all the creators and working together. And when it doesn't happen, it's usually an issue of not having how we can strength. So we'd love to hear a little bit more about what other constraints you have, what would you have done impossible if you could, and how can we help you? And my name is Jen, by the way. I'm out in California, but I am a Florida native, so I grew up there. So nice to see everybody.
Pam? How about you, Pam?
Yes, hi everyone. I'm Pam. I'm based in Seattle, but the more discerning among you might notice a very slight accent. I'm originally from the UK, and actually half an hour ago, England just got through to the finals of the Euros. 55 years we've been waiting for this. So I will calm myself down.
That's soccer for y'all.
Football, the real football.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I've started something now. Thank you so much for coming. We are just really grateful and excited to learn more about what you have to say, and we're really looking to learn from you tonight. Is really my sense. So thank you. Over to you, Matt.
Hi everyone, Matt Boland. I am based out of San Francisco, California. Originally from Michigan, actually. But also, I'm outside of the country. That's where I'm from. And I come from the workforce founded on in the business world, in helping workers with preparing for and getting access to jobs in the community. Done a lot of work here in San Francisco Bay Area and California, but also national work in that space. And I joined the team from that perspective of how best can we make good jobs for folks by working with it takes working with businesses and working with the talent themselves. So thank you all for being here, and I'm also looking forward to learning from you.
So before we jump in or have something neat, I want you to introduce who you are, just say your name, what your business is, and
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sabrina Lewis. I'm the owner of the Grazing House, which is a charcuterie experience. I don't think so. Maybe.
Hello everyone, my name is Jarius Lewis. I sell real estate and whatever else you want me to do.
Hey guys, I'm Christina McGowan. I'm the owner and designer of T-Plane Design, and I'm currently renting out a mobile photo booth, and I create event design and decor.
My name is Sarah Barty, and I am the owner of the Gather Cafe here in Ocala. Well, that's it.
I'm in support.
Good evening, my name is Sherry Jackson. I am the owner of the Apogee Creative Agency, a brand marketing boutique.
I'm Melissa Cordell. I'm representing my husband. He owns 2 businesses here in Ocala, and I also help run a outpatient pediatric therapy clinic here in Ocala.
Marcus Alexander on a small home care business, home health care business called Quad Nurse.
I'm Sharon Prince, Director of Entrepreneurship Services at the Chamber of Economic Partnership and owner of Prince Marketing Consultants.
I'm Steve Young. I'm the owner of HNS Transport. I'm the founder of Fairbank Academy, which is a charter school that we opened up here in 2023.
so I love the diversity. That's great. It's great. We want all kinds of points of view. So let me ask you. I mean, can you multitask? You can eat and talk at the same time? Yeah. So we have some great food over there, and you can just serve yourself. We'll bless the food and then serve up, and then I'll start asking questions, and I get extra points if I get you with food in your mouth. And just know that I will call on you and point at you if you don't respond. But no, and really it's not anything more than to get into the daily things, because there's so many things that we do almost automatically and don't really realize how that affects our employees or how it does in terms of what makes us grow. We get so bogged down sometimes in activity that it's not very productive. We come home tired, but then wake up the next morning and go, man, I just don't feel like I got in there. And so a lot of the coaching and mentoring is really about helping put yourself into a position to where we can then energize employees and management in our businesses, even if you're an army of one, just beginning and getting to the stage where you're going to onboard somebody. I had a buddy text me just today, and he's ready to hire an executive assistant. And he asked me, so what should I look for? And that's really the point. That's really the point. So with that, I'll say grace and then let's just serve yourself.